TAB staff-wise, obviously with trackside not operating, we've got a whole lot of staff who are not doing anything there. The branches not being open, we've got no staff there. I guess there's a few in head office that are still doing their work from home, but what about sort of Rita and TAB staff?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, as a business, we are still operating, obviously. The weekly turnover last week was, 26 million. There was about 4 million in gross betting revenue out of that period for us. So there's critical functions in the organisation that are having to continue, obviously, to manage that, and we want that to happen, obviously, because that that softens the blow that we're getting pummeled with at the moment. But you're right. I mean, the wider parts of the business have been clearly affected. Retail's been closed. The gaming side of the business, which funds integrity and the like, has also been shut up, obviously, for that same period of time. So there is a wide part of the business. Broadcasting is still operating, obviously, on that number 8 wire laptop at home, which is fabulous that the team have been able to do that, because that's enabled us, obviously, for the customer to see the product and then to bet on it. So that's enabled us to continue to generate revenue. But you're right, the wider parts of the business have been come back as much as possible. Obviously, all essential expenditure and whatnot brought right back to zero. And even in the last week, we've logged about 3,200, I think, days of annual leave that our wider team, have put into the system for the weeks to come. So, a lot of that is we're utilising all the tools and levers that we have to manage the business as well as we can. And that'll be no different. I've spoken to a number of club executives in the last week, and that's the same issues that the clubs are facing. And I think the one thing people can understand is what they're having to do themselves, and that's obviously look at reducing casual labour and what other essential costs that they can not incur, they can get out and ensure that they reshape their business. Well, we're having to do the same thing. So I think, and I think I said last week, that doesn't start or stop on a certain day. We've made the decision, obviously, which was communicated during the week around trackside radio in the coming weeks. So we've effectively suspended that with obviously no domestic racing. We've got through the second day of the championships today with the New Zealand representation that you've referred to. So we've kind of made this, to again save some money, peel back the business to its bare bones. We've taken made the decision to suspend that in the interim. Then we'll review that once domestic racing starts getting back in that time frame that we've talked about. So those are the types of decisions and discussions that are happening every day in our business at the moment.
You talk about things being peeled back to their bare bones. Does it provide an opportunity, Dean, that that now you're sort of coming in with like almost a blank sheet that you can say, like, let's change it now because people are going to be no matter what happens, it's going to be better than what's been happening over this 4-week sort of lockdown period. Is it an opportunity as well?
Oh, for the industry, it's a massive opportunity, and I think it's the old saying: in any good crisis, there's opportunity, and that is the opportunity for us. And a lot of those discussions are taking place at code level with regards to how the footprint in the future looks and all those types of things. As I say, getting out 2 years, what does the new normal look? Because I think in any business going forward in New Zealand, it doesn't matter what sector you're going to be in, this period of time is going to remarkably change how you do things and how you come out the other side. And I think most businesses, virtually all businesses, will look different post-COVID as they did pre-COVID. And certainly our industry and the TAB as a business will definitely be no different to those.
Okay, we've spoken about just how important Australian racing is to the TAB at the moment. Obviously, we've seen Tasmania shut down in recent times. How confident are you that at least Australia can keep going and provide us with that revenue?
I'm not even going to talk about it because I'm not going to jinx it. We're elated every week. The Australian racing continues, obviously, and the depth of product and the amount of product and the quality of product that we have, certainly today from Randwick is outstanding and a real feature. The best racing you can get anywhere in the world, and we've got it on our screens this afternoon with New Zealand representation, in key races, as you've said, the Sydney Cup, the the Oaks, the Queen Elizabeth. When Melody Bell's at $11 in a race, I think that shows the quality of the race. And when Opie's riding another horse that's not Melody Bell in a race, you know that's quality. So look, we'll ride the wave as long as we can. I think initially we were conservative in some of the numbers that we put together, that at some point that it was possible that they would stop. But I think every week that they've managed, and they've adapted, and that's one of the things that we've done. We have to do going forward as well. And I think overnight or in the last couple of days, Queensland have, they've adapted again to a decision that they made even a week or so ago. So I think it's reflective of the environment that we're in, and we've all just got to, we've got to work with that, because there are some decisions that are going to be made and whatnot that are not going to be 100% right, because we haven't got a playbook for this kind of stuff. We haven't done it before. None of us have done it before. So, the Queensland example is a really good one. They've made a decision. They've reflected on it. Things have changed because the situation's so fluid. And then they've actually gone back and they've readdressed it, and around some other steps that they put in place around regional racing. So I'm pretty optimistic that the framework we've got in place and the dialogue that's going on place with the right organisations, we're going to be able to do that ourselves. And going forward, that is what will shape up the future of the industry, for all of us to be kind to each other and work through this period and actually understand that we are going to all have to adapt, all of us, to this new normal.